honestly such an honor to talk with you today. I just saw the Black Phone when it first came out, and I watched it with my girlfriend, and we both really loved it. And I think,
Really?
yeah, no problem. The one thing that really stood out to me, your performance was magnificent, and so many people are talking about yours specifically. Even like some like Oscar buzz and stuff. I've been reading comments on like some Instagram threads and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, she's gonna get an Oscar. She killed it." And I have you been like looking at all the positive feedback so far of everybody?
Yeah, I really just see it when my family members send stuff to me or like my friends send it to me. But yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, even like your friends, like I'm sure they're probably like always calling you, texting, like, "Oh my God, like
Yes, yes,
that's
all the time.
that's awesome." Did you ever think like because you're young, you're what, 13 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you think you were gonna get such a like to do such a big notable film like this at such a young age? There was like something that was so unique for you?
Well, no, not really, but as soon as I got the role or when I auditioned for it, roles like Gwen or just movies like The Black Phone in general don't come around that often. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I would love to get to play Gwen
Mhm.
because she's so tough.
Yeah, she's just the parts where you threw the rock, even that one line too. I was watching another interview you did, but you went like saying like fart knocker and stuff like that, and just
Yeah.
kind of being tough. Is that how you are too in real life? Like you kind of are like you don't let people push you around. You kind of tell it how it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for you.
I think, the only thing about that is that I can't swear. Oh my gosh, my mom would kill me if I swore in real life.
No, no, don't. But listen, you don't have to swear to be tough, and it's
Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing. Trust me. Even growing up, I did the same thing. I come from an Italian household. You can't swear in an Italian household. Um, for acting in general, did you have any inspirations? Did anybody encourage you to get into acting, or was this something that you just kind of found on your own?
It was really something that I kind of found on my own because, well, whenever I'd watch movies, I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so fun to be in a movie and learn how everything's done. But it started off, my sister was just doing this little modeling job, and I was like, oh, mommy, can I try modeling? And then we were down in LA because we live in San Jose. And so we went to LA because I was getting my headshots done by an LA photographer. And then he posted them on his Facebook. And then an LA manager saw it. And I've been acting ever since.
Wow. So yeah, that's really interesting. I notice even people sometimes will do a commercial. And sometimes people do a commercial and they think, oh, it's a commercial, it's not going to lead to anything. Sometimes anything, whether it's the headshots like you mentioned or a commercial, it can open up a door that you never would have thought because there's always someone looking at like they may have a film or they may have a certain idea for what they want someone they want to work with, and then they look at you or they look at somebody, they go, that person has the look for something, and look what it's done. It's already let you do so many cool things.
I know, it's amazing.
It's really cool. What kind of movies do you like to watch on your spare time?
I love watching any like action movie like Marvel and stuff like that. But my favorite genre of movies is murder mysteries.
Oh,
They're
really?
my favorite movie is Knives Out.
Wow, no way, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love murder mystery.
Yeah, what about them do you like? Just the whole like suspense?
I don't know. I love trying to figure out who the killer is, like way before, like in the beginning of the movie, because I love that it's like you have to pay attention because everything is important. Like if you
Yeah.
miss something, it's like, oh, wait, what happened? What did I miss? I could have figured out who the killer was.
Yeah, because even with the Black Phone, like when I was watching it, there is that big um kind of reveal where at first I thought the brother was in on it at first, and then you realize, well, spoiler, anybody watching this podcast, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, go watch the movie. What are you doing? But
Yeah,
yeah, but it's you think it was him, and actually my girlfriend too thought, oh, the guy wearing the mask, it's both of them wearing it. It's like two people playing the parts. So
that's so cool. I love hearing everyone's, I don't know, thoughts on who they thought was the killer in the beginning or just their thoughts on the movie.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It is like a murder type of mystery too. You people think, like, I was trying to figure out the whole time, like, wait, so what's happening? You're like, is that gonna happen next? Or it leaves you on your toes. So
Yeah, there's lots. Yeah, it keeps you on your toes the whole movie. I like to think of it like a roller coaster because
yeah,
thrilling. And it's like when some of the jump scares happen, it's like you're going down the drop on the roller coaster and your heart drops.
Yeah, yeah. The parts when you were filming it with your character and your dad in the movie, right? Was it hard to transition to that character of kind of having a like that figure of like an alcoholic father hitting you and stuff like that? Like, was it hard to just transition to cry and really get into that moment? Like, what was it like filming those? Did it really have it like was it hard to get into that character?
Well, it helped because Scott had talked to me before the scene. He was like, if you need a break or if you need anything, because this is super intense. But also before we started, when we were doing the first take, Scott said, do what you think Gwen would do.
Hmm.
He kind of gave me that freedom to improv in the scene. And that's actually what they ended up using, which I thought was super cool. It was really cool that Scott really listens and asks for your input. And yeah, I just thought, what would Gwen do in that situation, or what would I do?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, and what I really liked as well, the parts when you're praying to God and you're like there's that innocence there too. Like you're a tough girl in the movie, but there is that little innocence about you in there, right? And that's what
yeah, I feel like Gwen
you grow
uses
to
her
love the
tough side to
character.
hide her more vulnerable side.
Yeah, and I think it's important for a character to be like that. I think sometimes if it's just too one-sided, there's not much of an arc. I think what Scott did and the people in the whole movie did like very well is that each character had such a unique arc, right? You got to
Yeah,
grow characters. It wasn't just you're watching a two-dimensional thing. That's very hard to do with a film, and to kind of add on to that, to play a character like that, it's very hard. So you mentioned that Scott let you kind of have free will and to do certain things. So besides the characters with your dad and stuff like that, was there other moments in the film where you had kind of had to improvise or kind of had to make your own spin on it? Was there any specific points as well?
I did that for a lot of the scenes, like especially the fight scene.
Oh,
Oh my
really?
God, filming the fight scene was so fun because it was super intense and I got to really show how tough I am in real life too. Because that is like exactly what I'm like on the soccer field.
Yeah. So the people that you're filming with, they probably were looking at you too, like, oh my God, Madeline's look at her go. She's
Yeah,
crazy. You probably really scared them, didn't you?
probably.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I do. At one time, I was like so. I felt so bad because Jordan, who plays one of the bullies, Maddie,
Yeah.
when I went to swing with the rock, I accidentally hit him in the face.
Oh,
And I was after the scene was over, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It's like, no, you're good, you're good. It actually helped with the scene. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, it's those little
So,
things sometimes that play around with it. I actually did a video because on my Instagram, my YouTube, I do a lot of shorts, just like talking to the camera and stuff about movies and everything. And there's like scenes like if that didn't happen, for example, that whole scene with the fighting would have been completely different. It wouldn't have been as good. But you actually like since it wasn't on purpose, it just happened. Those are called happy accidents that they call it.
yeah,
Yeah. And you mentioned you played soccer. I noticed that when I was on your Instagram and you had in your Instagram, it said like, I'm a soccer player who loves to act.
yeah.
Is soccer your main passion? Acting's like something that you are just pursuing on the side or vice versa? Or is it kind of mutual? You're just kind of doing both?
I think it's definitely neutral. But I love playing soccer. I've been playing soccer since I was like 3 or 4. But I've been playing. I started playing club soccer when I was around like 10 or 11 maybe. But I love soccer. I could play soccer forever, just like acting. What would be really cool if I could play soccer in a movie or like a show.
What's your favorite soccer team? Who do you go root for?
I love PSG, Paris Saint-Germain,
Mm.
because I love Mbappe and
Ah,
I love
yes, he's
Messi and
great.
Neymar. But I also like Man City and Manchester United. I play FIFA with my twin brother Aiden because we both love soccer, and so does my little sister. But I mainly play FIFA with him. But yeah, sometimes we like switch teams and stuff like that. But me and my twin, our whole family, we're super competitive. So
Okay.
whenever I beat him, I make sure to really rub it in his face because he's so good at it too. But recently, I've been creaming him in FIFA. It's like
Nice.
for some reason I feel like something just clicked, and now I can beat him like every time.
You ever play? Did you ever play Ultimate Team?
Yeah. Oh well, sometimes we mainly just play offline, but our friend Thomas, because he really wants to play against us at his house, so he's gonna teach us how to set Ultimate Team Up. I tried doing it, but I was really confused.
I used to play Ultimate Team as a kid, and I blew so much money on that because these things you can buy. And yeah, I wasn't pretty good. My parents really weren't happy with that because I spent a lot of money. And then when they got the bill, they're like, "Did you spend something for FIFA?" I'm like, "I don't think so." I'm like, "Oh great, I'm done. I'm done." But it was all worth it in the end because I love it so
Yeah.
much. Going back to the filming because this was something that really interested me about horror movies because I've never been in a horror movie, obviously. When you're filming it, especially with like Ethan Hawke and his demeanor in the movie being like a scary person in the movie, when you're filming it, is it actually scary as well? Is there things that like kind of creep you out, or is it obviously not like that?
It's not ever really scary, I'd say, because you can see all the lights and then there's so many people around you while you're filming.
Mhm.
But it was scary because this one time when we were looking at all the sets, all the sound stages, I got to see the basement and no one was there because we were just like looking around and it was so dark too. And so when I walked into the basement, like it sent shivers down my spine. It was pretty creepy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. And when you actually got to watch the film after the final cut, did it scare you?
Yeah, it still scares me. I've seen it so many times and it still scares me. Every jump scare and just in general, like Ethan's character is pretty insane. So
Yeah.
yeah, it scares me every time.
I never have seen him do his performance was incredible too. I've never seen him do like transition into a character like that. And you know what's really unique about it? You don't even know it's like when you're watching it, you don't even realize it's Ethan Hawke. First off, because of the mask and everything, but just because of what he's doing, it's so like it's creepy. I think that's what makes a good horror movie. Because the movie did have jump scares, but it had a lot of like just psychological aspects of it.
Yeah.
Like the whole concept, I just think was really unique. I've never seen anything like that before. Obviously, we've seen movies like like the slashers. You got Chucky, Freddy Krueger, all these other horror movies. I think these are the hardest to do, and the fact that you guys pulled it off, props to you because that's just it
Thank
became
you.
I think it became an instant classic. Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
just like
pretty amazing.
it is really amazing. And actually, one thing that really stood out to me because the film is based in the 70s. It's an era that my dad grew up in, and I grew up loving all the 70s, 80s, 90s, the retro stuff. And when you were in the movie, after doing the whole production of it, did you end up growing a fondness for the retro stuff after?
Yes, definitely. All the clothes. I actually got to keep some of the clothes that I wore. Like I got to keep two turtlenecks and some hair accessories. But I thought it was so cool. And the rotary phones.
Yes.
I got to use a rotary phone in it in one scene, but it was so confusing at first because I didn't know how to use it.
Listen, I'm older than you, and I still don't know how to use a rotary phone. Don't worry. I can't.
Yeah,
My friend
they
was
had to teach me how to use it because I was like, do you press it or something? And then I didn't know that you have to let it go all the way, wind all the way back
yeah.
to
So for
for
example, if you're gonna
not
do
the
like the
number.
number three, you got to go to three, let it go back, and then go like to the next one. So it
Yeah.
takes forever to call somebody. At that point, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm four numbers in. I'm like, okay, I'm not calling this person anymore. That's how I'd be. We're too late. We're too lazy. This
Yeah,
generation.
we're too lazy. Because like now you can just grab your phone and be like, hey Siri, call so and so.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
literally.
like tap on them and then call them.
Yeah. And how about the music? Oh, how about
I just
the?
activated my Siri.
Oh, you activate your Siri, really? Oh, see, Siri, don't interrupt our conversation.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, that was a terrible joke.
Oh yeah, but hey, that was actually pretty good.
Oh, thank you, thank you. What kind of music did you end up looking at any new songs as well from like for example like after the movie?
Yeah,
Yeah, any
because they
songs?
use Free Ride and Fox on the Run, and I am obsessed with those songs now. My dad was like, Maddie, if you keep listening to that, we're gonna end up not liking the song. It's like,
Oh,
sorry, it's just so good.
yeah.
Also, I'm obsessed with all the songs from the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtracks. I have those all on my playlist.
Yes, I wanted to buy. I wanted to buy the actual vinyl, the record of the Guardians of the Galaxy. What's it called? Awesome mixtape sound. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, yeah. I said to my dad, I was like, I don't know what it's called, but what Star Lord has. I know it's a Sony. A
Oh,
Walkman. A walk.
Jinx.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Maddie. Thank you. This was an amazing pleasure talking with you today. And
Thank you for having
no
me.
problem. And I wish you the best of success. You're doing great things, and you have me rooting for you and everybody. It's fantastic to see you grow and to do all these amazing things. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting all these things on my Instagram and YouTube. I will tag you on the stuff so you can check it out. And yeah, thanks again.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
No problem. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.